What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Matty P here with another episode live of Steelers Touchdown Under on the Steelers Touchdown Under YouTube channel. I will be joined by my co-host in a few moments, so we can't wait to see him. Good to see some of the guys in the live chat start streaming in, so that is awesome. But yeah, great to be on with you guys. It's been a while since we've done a live. Wanted to get back to doing that. We've had all sorts of different things going on. It's also kind of cool that it's a bye week. Good to chat with you guys. And hope you're all enjoying your Friday evening in the US and whatever else is going on, whatever other time zone around the world you guys are tuning in from. So, kind of crazy week for the Steelers in that they won the game against the Ravens. Not necessarily everyone thought that was going to happen. And then, now they go into the bye 3-2. AFC North will roll on this weekend. They are atop the AFC North. They do have 2 from 2 when it comes to, the AFC North matchups, the divisional matchups. That's going to be really important down the stretch, particularly when they close out the season, Week 18, Game 17 against the Baltimore Ravens. By winning this week, we don't, it takes the pressure off winning in that week. And I mean, who knows where the Ravens are going to be at that stage. Hey, George, how are you? Hey, Gene, hey, Gavin. So shouting out to a couple of live chat guys there. So yeah, I think that's sort of an interesting perspective. Then you have all these, a bye week is traditionally a time for a team to do a bit of a reset, get healthy, all those good things. And so for the Steelers, really, as most Steelers fans out there, you go on, it's time for the offense to get something together. They had a bunch of these like sort of weird, it's kind of like an end of semester style, had an end of semester style feel to it, end of school break sort of feel to it. But they had all these interviews with the coaches this week. I've been through all the offensive ones, so mostly through the defensive ones. But the offensive ones, Matt Canada is least convincing as freaking always, which is only going to ignite fans' anger a lot more. And so, like where this team goes after the bye, and it's something that I'll talk to Mark about when he jumps on the show. That's going to be a really key piece for a lot of Steelers fans. It's less about the 3-2 record and more about the fact that how does that offense improve, because this team isn't playing like a 3-2 team. This team's playing like a 1-4, a 0-5. Now that's cool because we've got a great defense, but like we can't the defense can't win every single game for the Steelers. If so, then Mike Tomlin will do a better job than the Tampa team that he was a part of a coach of, which obviously he was inducting Ronnie Barber for the Hall of Fame this year. So we can't. Also, the other thing about Steel fans, and I know some of the guys in the live chat already, you guys feel this too. We can't waste the defense. Like this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. If they fix a couple of things, it's not perfect, and Terrell Austin's got a job to do there. Been saying that for 18 months now, that he gets away with things because of Matt Canada. I know Mark's on that train, has been since day one. Talked about it on his Steeler Oz channel as well a lot recently. But yeah, defense has got to kick into gear too. I wouldn't put it past the Steelers as well. Jeremiah says, touchdown under. Yeah, that's how we used to start off the show. I love it. But, the defense and the offense have both had 2 really key guys out in Deontay Johnson and Cameron Hayward. And that's like a really big deal because Deontay Johnson, you get the release, the separation that he gets, massive deal. So to get him back will be huge. And then to get Cam Hayward down the stretch, particularly if you've got a positive record, that could be really big. But as we're all Steelers fans out there, I wake up every morning and I open up Google, I type in Steelers, and I look for all the different headlines of different things. And one of the things that I thought was ridiculous this week is things like Matt Canada's going to get fired. Well, I don't think that's ridiculous, but going to get fired. They're going to bring John Gruden in. No. John Gruden has a lawsuit out right now against the NFL. John Gruden clearly has a lot of enemies. John Gruden has done a lot of wrong things. I don't think the Steelers need to bring any of that into the Steelers organization, even if it's an improvement on Canada. Now, that's easy for me also to say on the other side of the world. I know things are at a really tenuous point with Canada. I mean, I messaged Mark as soon as I saw it, about 20 minutes after it happened, but the whole fire Matt Canada chance at the Pittsburgh Penguins game, I mean, when you've got, hey, it's become a cult chant to fire Canada to the point that it's occurring in a completely different sports game. It's wild. I kind of love it, though, at the same time. So the passion of Pittsburgh is on display there. But yeah, that's just a narrative that I don't really see. I do have a feeling that like another poor performance, and you'll say, why is this the one that breaks the camel's back? But I do think it's kind of like Yeah, 100%, Jeremiah. We are still a nation. We are world. That's right. There's like Steelers, Steelers are Pittsburgh's team that welcomes in the global fans like myself. But yeah, I think most likely the thing is that Matt Canada will be lame duck pretty quickly if he isn't already, and it'll be Glenn Thomas and Mike Sullivan, and it'll be just those guys there looking to help the Steelers on their offensive ways. And I think also Kenny maturing too. I actually think in a weird way, if that's what does happen, like, oh yeah, it did. I remember that actually. Do remember that. And as a Minnesota, I'm a Timberwolves fan as well, like a lot, like very casually. But I know that they've said stuff about Kirk Cousins before at games. Yeah, I think going back to the offensive side of things, it's in a weird way. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Or let's just say the silver lining on the storm cloud that is Matt Canada on this offense is at least if Kenny Pickett's maturing to the point he is picking these plays, he is hearing what someone's saying and going, "Nah, that ain't it," and doing something else, and it results in wins down the stretch. And he's obviously got that. There's a similarity there. I'm sure that he and Ben have spoken about that sort of stuff. But at least if he's doing that when they do change offensive coordinators at the end of the year, at least he can step up to the plate. It's not like having to shake up everything again, which was the big concern with Pickett after his rookie year is would an offensive coordinator completely change, a new offensive coordinator, stuff up that rhythm, stuff up his development, stuff up his progression as a quarterback. So at least we don't have to go through that now. He'll have 2 years. He's seen a lot. He'll also be able to work with an offensive coordinator and actually talk to them about, hey, these are things I do right, these are things I don't. But that whole discussion is probably best left for the day they do get rid of Canada, which is the day his contract ends this year, unless they're going to somehow do it before. But I saw also a narrative that the Steelers, by a former Steelers player, it was on a Steelers website, that, yeah, and exactly, Canada blames the players for everything. You beat me to it, George. So the narrative was that a former Steelers player had messaged that particular publication and said, I think Matt Canada's lost the locker room. Well, Matt Canada lost me a long time ago. But yeah, if it's now he's finally lost the locker room, I think obviously last year, the whole Jets thing and the Boswell thing, I think it's been lost on them he's lost them for a long time. Certainly probably lost the defense with how hard they have to work and special teams as well. We relied on, picks, fumbles, and a punt team block to beat the Ravens 17-10. It's got to get better. And that's fine if that was the Ravens game isolated, but we all know that that's not the Ravens game isolated. So one other narrative that I saw that I just thought was hilarious, and as a Steeler fan, you just sit there and you're like, you even understand Pittsburgh Steelers? It's just clickbait crap, which no real fan's going to click on. But I thought it was funny because it's coming when it's Bleacher Report, who really have not done a lot in a long time that's worth reading. But I'm going to just bring up the players because I wanted to talk about this with Mark as well, but like a live audience, like I'd love to know what you guys in the live chat think of this. So they picked 3 players in all the league, 3 players. Now there's 2 positions, tight end and edge rusher. Now, I don't think anyone in the live chat right now, or if you're listening to this, on replay, thinks that the Steelers, maybe they need another tight end, but they got Washington, Freeman, Hayward. They can bring Rodney Williams, I think, deserves to keep coming and go there, cheap and good. But tight end and edge rusher, like they got 4 edge rushers. Like I kind of want to see more of Nick Herbig, and we can't because we've got Golden and Highsmith. TJ's absolutely crushing it. Highsmith's crushing it. I think he's got like 14 pressures through the first 5 weeks. So these are absolutely know the positions. And then let's get to the players, right? I just thought this was hilarious. Like this stuff just, absolutely nuts. Mike Gesicki from the Patriots. Now, Mike Gesicki is a good tight end. But the first argument for that was that the Steelers would have a combined tight ends have a combined 105 receiving yards right now. And you think Gesicki is going to make that better? That's a scheme thing, man. Like, that's a scheme thing. They're not even using Freemuth right. He'd have a lot more yards if they weren't throwing it to him 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. Gene says no way. It's an absolute joke, right? So there's that. So that's Mike Gesicki. Then they took that Austin Hooper, who is apparently going to be he's a cheap veteran tight end. Fine, but he was available in free agency for ages. He played for the Browns for a little bit as well. It was 2 seasons. He's with the Raiders now. Why would we go and get him, particularly when like the Raiders are all over the place. They need every offensive help they can get. They have an offense derived around tight ends from Josh Daniels. Jimmy Garoppolo has always kind of used a tight end, particularly I think Kittle back at San Francisco. They lost Darren Waller last year. This is just a ludicrous one. And we don't even need a tight end. So let's park that there. And then Brian Burns. I mean, Brian Burns is one of the best edge rushers in the league when he wants to be or when schemed right. Or at least let's say a top 5, top 10 guy. What are the Panthers going to need to trade for him? If I'm trading for the Panthers, I'm probably getting one guy right now, and that's a Conwu, the offensive lineman. I'm not really going after anyone else. I saw this and I just thought it was hilarious. But yeah, pretty crazy. I can't believe some of these narratives that we have to deal with as Steelers fans. But Jeremiah Yoda says, any way that gets it done, even if it's 11-10, any win of the Raptors. Oh, 100%. I'm not even going to rubbish a win against the Raptors either. It's just, like, I went back and looked at this. This is how the game started, right? Baltimore punt. This is drive by drive. Steelers punt. Baltimore touchdown. Steelers punt, right? So we're now like 2 from 2 drives, punt. Baltimore field goal. Steelers punt, right? So we've had 2 out of 3 scoring drives from the Ravens, and the Steelers are punted 3 times. Field goal. Turnover on downs, end of the half, 10-3. We come out in the second quarter, punt again, right? So we're now like 4 from 5 punt. The other one's a field goal. Ravens punt, so at least the defense held them. We punt. We're 5 from 6 punting after 5 out of 6 drives. Then the Ravens punt, thank God, because the defense kept the Steelers in the game. Then we punt again, right? So we're now like 7 from 8 punting. Then it's a safety, thank God, against Baltimore. Then there's the field goal from us. So now we're 7-8. Yeah, so now we're 7 from 9. We're punting with 2 field goals. Then they punt. Then we get the interception, which at 10-8, that would have been the icing on the cake. They would have been up by 9 points. I said before the game to Mark, the Steelers can't come back at the moment with this offense from more than 9 points. And then we obviously get the awesome touchdown. We get the fumble. We get the interception. We get the field goal, and we go again. But when you go first seven drives, you're getting freaking punt fest. Yeah, exactly. 9 again. Sorry. Punt Fest 2023. I mean, it's just Punt Central, Punt City. Welcome to have you. I love having another team in the live chat. I feel like you guys as well. I mean, the Niners obviously doing tremendous wallop to the Cowboys. As much as I don't think the Steelers were ready for that game, and they should have been. There's no excuse. I'm just meaning like this team just not the rhythm there. The offense is not good enough to take on the Niners at the moment. But I feel like that probably helped. It gave you guys a real good red hot start as well, playing physical team, and we didn't even turn up. But yeah, Gene Smith, we have the 3 best edge rushers. All right, exactly. So I don't understand why you go after a guy like Brian Burns. I just found that narrative absolutely hilarious. Hey Homer, how you going, mate? Good to see you. Good to see you. But Jeremiah says when the Steelers blocked that punt on Joe Porter Jr., that was clear turning point towards Steelers. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that the interception from Porter is huge. I think that's the sort of play that when you go back and review a season and what was the Steelers' path to get here, and we want to talk about that, a little bit in the show as well. That's something that there's those plays that really are those turning points, that belief. I mean, Joe Porter Jr. too. He slowly stepped it up each week. We talked about that in my rookie show that went live. Went live at an odd time because YouTube scheduled it for the wrong time. But you can go back and listen to that if you haven't listened to that after this. But I talked a lot about Joe Porter and the snaps per game and how much he's come into this offense. I think he played 43% of snaps in the game. But regardless, for Joe Porter Jr., this is a really big thing coming out of the bye because he is going to be used more and more. I don't think the Steelers have a number 1 cornerback. I think this is like back when we had the wide receiver discussion a couple of years back when Mark and I were with BTSC or Steelers Curtain Network. And it was all about having like a couple of, number 2 wide receivers. At the time we had Deontay and Juju and a couple of other guys. So I think and then Claypool even back then, he wasn't showing anything back then. But regardless, the point is that I think right now you've kind of got 3-2s in Levi Wallace, Joe Porter from experience, athleticism, potential, all those things. He can be a number one corner for sure. Definitely Ike Taylor sort of starts with more interceptions. And then you obviously have, Pat P in there too, but Pat P can play more of a mentoring role. So yeah, I think that interception absolutely huge. You do need a bit of luck in the NFL. The Steelers have had unlucky things like bounce the balls, that fumble in the Detroit Lions tie, like stuff like that. Sometimes you do, every team deserves to get the bounce of the ball to go their way. But you can't argue with the fact of how much Killebrew practices by all accounts. Practice makes perfect, and that's what you saw with the pump block. Gene Smith says Sam Brown is no joke. Absolutely not. It all come down to health for them. Yeah, throw in some questions as well. I don't know when Mark's going to come in, so I might be doing this one on my own. But throw in some questions. I'd love to answer them as I keep running through a couple of things that I wanted to share with you all. Alex says, did you happen to see the Steelers ratings? Jerry, Dulac, Pickett, D+, running backs, D, tight ends, F, receivers, C. I mean, I actually hadn't seen that. Was that the last 24 hours kind of thing? I've been pretty crazy. Things have been pretty crazy the last 24 hours. But I don't know how you can give Pickett a D+. I think that is really unfair. I think the running backs, it's hard. It's hard when you look at the yardage and the production. But I think that's a bit unfair if you're going to split. Yeah, I kind of think C. I actually think that's something in the C's. But that's also like the run game is that there's a lot of complexity to a run game about. Obviously, you've got the offensive line blocking. You've got other players in line blocking. Tight ends get an F. I don't know why the tight ends get an F. And the receivers get a C-. They've got to be a lot closer than that. I just don't think they're being used. And I think that was very frustrating for me a couple of weeks back, was like they're not being used. You've got a top 5 tight end in the league if you use right. Maybe even the potentially a top 3 tight end in the league, and Pat Freemuth obviously is out with the hamstring now. And you're trying to shovel it off to him or do these dink and dunk passes that go like 3 to 5 yards, and then he's got to scramble through on a screenplay and run around someone and barrage people over. Like, fine if you're in the fourth quarter, you're trying to make plays, and fine, if you're in the red zone and you're trying to continue that momentum and continue the downs. But like, I don't understand why you're doing that 50 yards out from the opposition's end zone. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's weird in a way, because for a lot of rookies, they use the tight end. Like, a tight end's a safety net for any quarterback. And you have seen that change over the last few years as well, to short passing to running backs. But I just find it so odd. You've got someone of Pat Freemuth's quality and caliber, who would have been a first-round pick without having this shoulder injury that he had at Penn State in his final year, and you don't use him. So actually, it's a really good point, Alex Smith. I'd throw it back to you guys in the live chat. I'd love to hear what you guys think in terms of, are these ratings fair, number one? And if they're not, even if they're not, is this to me, when I see this, it's reflective of the Matt Canada offense. It's not reflective necessarily of their performances. Now, they haven't been great, but if you're not schemed right, it's a bit hard. And I know there's the argument of like, players play the game, coaches coach. The players are the ones on the field executing. If they don't execute right, that's on them. But the NFL is such a tactical game. I mean, there's a reason why everyone watches hours of tape and, the guy works really hard, and why Pickett's lauded for the tape that he watches, at least regardless of what he puts on the field. And a guy like Kyler Murray needs a contracting clause inserted that says you need to watch a certain amount of film and come into the facility each week, not just be sitting there playing, COD or Madden. I mean, that's like absolutely wild, right? But the reality is you have to watch that much tape. There's, the whole coaches getting there at 5:30 in the morning, leave at, 8 p.m. at night, all that sort of stuff. You have to watch that much tape because of how technical, tactical, the schematics of it. And then, like, you sit there and you're like, oh no, but the players play. No. Scheme comes into play 100%. I think we're going to be joined by my co-host in a minute as well. But Jeremiah Yoda says, as good as Steelers defense plays in these recent games, imagine how this defense is going to perform. Well, that 100%. I'm really excited for Benton too, because I think that Benton is going to be able to and this is going to be a good segue for me to bring someone in, but by bringing Cameron Hayward in, it's going to be very easy for Benton because you're going to start seeing his pass rush ability as well. He's not going to have to hold up that interior. Yeah, Gene, that's fair enough. Look, they haven't played great, so I mean, but I think it's also through 5 games. We're not even through technically a third of the games yet. But that's a good segue. Bringing in my co-host, as always, Marky D, the champion on his shirt. How you going, brother?
What's going on, mate? Yeah, these are great shirts. You got one of these, like the rest of Australia?
Oh, I don't actually.
I bought it.
I grew up in an area where there's no point me using the terminology because for a lot of our international fans, but it was like, Everlast or Champion or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Everlast because Everlast was a bit cheaper. I had these classic Everlast like track pants that everyone had. It was ridiculous. I look like an idiot.
You ever had Puma pants? You ever had that?
No, I'm not. So I'm someone that's like really, really brand loyal. So I used to wear Canterbury, which they don't have over there. It's a rugby brand, or Nike. I like my Nike, right? Remember someone for Christmas got me some Adidas track pants. I was like, I don't like that.
Don't you mean Adidas?
Adidas? Nah,
Yeah.
it's Adidas, man.
I
hate when people correct it and they say it's Nike. I'm like, it's not Nike. It's named after a Greek god who was called Nike. Like it's Nike. There's no Nike.
Isn't Adidas one of our reporters? Adidas Kinkambola? Nah, man, I'm doing good. But yeah, I bought this shirt, right? And I realized like real fast that everyone wears this shirt. Like every like Uber driver wears this shirt. So it is what it is. What I missed, we're gonna start again or what? What's happening?
Well, I've got a bunch of different things for us to talk about. It's been wild and wacky. I'll get your take live on this. The live chat was funny on it. So I woke up this morning. I type in Steelers like I do every day into my phone and see what the go is. And Bleacher Report put out another bullshit article where they said 3 players the Steelers must trade for.
I'm over it.
Okay. Here's the 3 players. Mike Gesicki, tight end. The argument was that the Steelers had 105 yards to tight ends right now. I'm like, that's not because they don't have good tight ends. That's because they don't use them.
I was going to say it's not the actual tight end. It's probably because they're not. Yeah, go on. Yeah, move on.
They're tight on, passes to the tight end, right? Then Austin Hooper from the Raiders, another tight end. Why would we go and get that guy? He was basically, vet minimum in free agency. No one wanted him, apart from he ended up going to the Raiders. No, makes no point. And then it said trade for Brian Burns, the really good outside linebacker edge rusher at the Carolina Panthers, who in the offseason, Panthers said they needed at least 2 first-round picks for.
Well,
why do we need
maybe? Okay, I'll address the last one first. Maybe that would have been good last year. Like Burns, like honest to goodness, we have Marcus Golden who's doing a pretty good job. We have TJ Watt and Highsmith who are doing enough snaps, and they're loving playing football now. Like they're on the field 80% of the time. You just need someone to back up a few times. And Nick Herbig's only had tiny bits of play. Okay, that one's stupid. The tight end stuff is even more stupid. Rodney Williams is more than enough that he can fill in for certain reps for blocking and stuff that and catching. They got to use Connor Hayward in different situations anyway, which they don't. Like with a good offensive coordinator, you'd move him all around like a Swiss Army knife, like crazy style. He'd be catching everything, right? He's getting better. And Frymouth is good enough to come back when he's healthy anyway. And then Darnell Washington, they're not even targeting Darnell. So why would you go and get a tight end?
Gesicki's really good. Gesicki's really good.
But he's good. We don't need him.
No, that's right. It's like how many. I
saw one the other day. This is why the buy is crazy, and we've got to wait until the trade deadline's over, because then real Steeler channels exceed like us, because other ones always talk about trades all the time. I saw one the other day trading for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. I know.
But Kenny Pickett's ceiling is above.
I know.
Like Kirk Cousins on steroids.
I saw it. I was like, trade for Kirk Cousins and get rid of Kenny, and I was like, you're joking. Like, when is trade deadline's week 9 or something like that?
Yeah, end of week 8.
We have to wait for that point for then all those terrible media outlets to then stop doing trade bait articles and then talk about real football. When in reality, we should be talking about the Steelers like getting healthy on the bye and being 3-2 at the bye is pretty good. Like when you think about it, it's pretty good.
Agree, 100%. Especially when you're 2-2, as I kicked off the show, you're 2-2 in the division. Alex says, I don't see how it can be any assessment of performance within this offensive scheme. 100%. It's definitely. Hey, Elijah, mate. Sorry, missed the wrong click there.
I heard that one too, but the Broncos won't want to give up. Why would they want to give up Sertain? He's really good. It makes the team.
They've said that. They've said he's a building block. They also have Jesse Bates. Is it Jesse Bates? No, Simmons. Simmons, their free safety. They've got a defensive backcourt. They're going to build around the defensive backs. That makes.
Can I say one more thing? Because this just really pisses me off. Just because it's a rumor doesn't mean the Steelers are interested. I can't handle that. Like I can hear about Steelers are keen on this player, and someone from Bleacher Report starts a rumor, and next minute they're like, Steelers want this guy. No, they don't. It's just some bloke.
Chase Young thing.
Yeah. Oh, I was on that for a little minute. All right, but still, like they make this rumor in their office. They go put it all together. They insert name, and then they go, this player wants to go here because we have a missing need. Yeah, whatever. And then it's like the Steelers are interested. No, they're not. You have to go through sources, like real sources.
Like I mean, Mark, I barely go a show without suggesting a trade idea, right? And I got 2 of them right this year, particularly, right? But like.
Oh yeah, true. You got the offensive line guys.
Yeah, but
which makes sense.
I don't sit there and come up with these trades that don't that I think that don't make sense. I mean, I remember when Watt went to Arizona, everyone's like, "No, not going to Arizona, not going to Arizona." The day he said he was leaving the Texans, and I sat there at 5 a.m. in the morning because I happened to be up with my puppy, and sat there for an hour and looked at all the teams and looked at all the contracts. And I went, he's going to Arizona Cardinals. And we were back with BTSC. And everyone in the BTSC Slack channel went, no, he's not. Why would he go there? I'm like, this is why. And I outlined the 4 or 5 reasons, including the money reasons why I did it. Where'd he go? He went Arizona. But you can't just write up an article and insert trade person and insert picture. And that's what it's going to be. Like, what's the fit? What's the team need? Like, this team, the thing about it too is I do think the cornerbacks, they do need someone to help them out there. I wouldn't mind them looking at options there. But realistically, the 2 number one things this team can do to get better and get rid of or not listen, put him in the naughty corner, Matt Canada, and Terrell Austin needs to ship up or shape out, right? Or shape up or ship out.
The thing is, why
it's not. I don't think the players at the moment. I actually don't think it's the players have got us to 3-2. Like, as I said, before you joined, I went through the fact that the Steelers, out of the first 9 drives for the Steelers, 7 of them were punts and 2 of them were field goals, right? That don't win you many games in the NFL. And they relied on crazy pump block. They relied on heaps of turnovers again from the defense or, drive crushing plays. That's great. You can't rely on that week in, week out. So, for this team to get better after the bye, which is exactly what I wanted to talk about on the show with you, it's like the Steelers, the thing that needs to change is the schematics, the coaching, the coordination. The players have got us to 3-2 and 2 out of 2 in the division. That's kind of all you can ask, 2 out of 2 in the division.
I just kind of find it funny that an instant reaction is always a trade away players. Why aren't we talking about, like, if Levi Wallace and Pat P get better, then JPJ is already playing really good, and this defense can turn around. Like, why do you always want to trade away for someone? I reckon they might not even make a move for trades because Levi Wallace is healthy, Pat P's healthy. Yeah, they're a bit slower, they've been getting burnt, right? But give them a week off and maybe wait and see what they can do. And if they turn around and we have a big game, then everyone's quiet.
There is one position that I think this team does need to focus on, and I've said it.
Center?
Oh, well, yeah. Now you say that, there's 2. They need a better strong safety. Neal isn't it.
But do you think if they were to go and get someone and maybe, okay, they traded away Claypool last year, right? And the team was better off for it because it just opened everything up with different players playing. If they trade away to bring someone in, will that help us? Like, depending who it is?
Yeah, I don't think Neal is remotely. I don't think that they thought he could do what Terrell Edmonds did athletically, but I don't think he's shaped up to what he needs to be. But I also there's not there's a couple of young guys that I like out there. Like, there's not a dead set replacement that is going to be as cost effective or is going to be able to just learn the Steelers defense that quickly. So it's a bit kind of like whole Canada thing. In some ways, you feel like you're stuck with him now.
This year, though, I get the feeling that the Steelers aren't going to do anything. And when I say that, they probably will. But I reckon it doesn't feel like I feel like they have
I
their
do.
team. They just gotta figure it out. You reckon they'll make
I
a
think they'll
move?
move. Yeah, I think they'll make a move.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know where it'll be necessarily which position, but I think they'll do something.
Didn't we make enough moves in the offseason? We got like 25 plays or whatever. Like they
The
made
the Khan artist, it's only 3-2, mate. It's only 3-2. George, so it's I'm assuming you mean Matt Canada there. It all depends on his contract as a coach. Coaches' contracts are
if he quits,
different.
wow.
The coaches' contracts are different to players in how that works with the guaranteed money and stuff like that. I mean, hey, you want to start something to go viral? Well, let's start it here. I could set up for our next live show a GoFundMe to pay out Matt Canada's retrenchment check, and we can all crowdfund it. See, Steel fans can raise $1 million to pay Canada to leave.
Pay us $1 million to go to the game rather than that. Like we want what you want to pay him to leave? That's a win-win for Matt Canada. Look, I've said my stuff.
If we found $1 million to get rid of Matt Canada, right? I think a rich Steeler fan out there would fly us to the game on a private jet.
If I found $1 million, I'd be going to an island with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a few Playboy bunnies. I'll be see you later, mate. I wouldn't be here for the show. I'd be goodbye, good night. I'd be skiing in summer. You know what I'm saying? I'd be doing all kinds of tricks out that way. Wouldn't be here.
I love it. I love that. Maybe he would quit if they made him the water boy and towel boy. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know everyone watches Ted Lasso. The kit managers can probably scheme.
What about always like all he wears the brunt, doesn't he? Of this, I kind of feel bad for the fella now.
Where's the brunt?
He wears everything, dude. He's getting the whole crowd yelling at his head. Like the whole place is yelling at his head.
I love it. I'm on it. I'm on the Pittsburgh Penguins train, yell at him. Like, I just think it's... You know why? Because he's so apathetic and he shows so little passion and he blames other people in his press conferences. I just,
you don't feel bad for him at all now that like it's gone too far. Like it's beating. I think it is, man. I think the horse is dead. It's dead, man. The horse is like bones.
I'll give you a perspective though. So, in my day job, I work in the media industry, and one of the things I do is teach people actually how to speak properly in front of the media. And when you do that training, now a lot of people will sound very rigid and straight up if they want to really stick to the messaging that they're told. You get that when we say that with the Tomlin press conferences, but he makes that authentic with all the different things that he says. You see it from politicians, et cetera, But one of the things when you're doing that process is you get to find out very quickly the people that are authentic and the people that are not. And that works both ways in that when you've got someone that can't answer a question, that dodges a question, that doesn't take responsibility. Like one of the number one things when you teach crisis communications is responsibility. You have to accept responsibility. Even in the majority of the time when it's not your fault, there are reasons why you can't sometimes, but usually it's always good to start with being accountable and taking some level of responsibility. Matt Canada never does that. Therefore, he loses me completely straight away.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just like over it, bro. I'm so done with it. It's just we know he's gonna stay. He's there for the next year. Move on.
That's why I said before you jumped on, I said that he's just going to be a lame duck. They're just going to focus with Sully and.
I really imagine if like the Steelers go on a miracle run, they pull it together and they win the Super Bowl.
It's still going.
But I know he's still gone. But this will be the most weirdest NFL films because in the background you'd hear like week 4 they'd be yelling at like in the crowd, and imagine like he would have to like it'd just be so strange.
I don't understand though, like. I still don't get the celebration thing. I've watched that video a few times now. How do you not celebrate?
Oh, I looked into this for about a few hours. This one.
Oh, you're gonna? Right? Yeah, our answer gonna be because he was getting ready for what the next play was gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. And also, CBS cuts really quick. They go, they cut really quick and go, see you later. Whatever. So that's what I would say.
I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, I know about the next play, but like. There are plenty of coaches that go, look at the way Mike Tomlin went nuts with Killebrew. Like, come on, man.
Well,
Show a bit of emotion. Like, do you not care? Do you not care?
This is what's funny though, because last year, right, and I heard Daniel and Jay from Saturday Steelers talk about this on Steelkirk Network, right? When Canada, and I've changed my tune complete from last year because I was Fire Canada all the way, and I still am, but I'm just over it. But when he cheered for Claypool, we all yelled at him saying, "Well, about time you got to play right, and why are you cheering?" And then when he doesn't cheer, we yell at for him. So the guy can't win. That's why I'm done with it. I'm just done with the whole argument. Like, it's just silly to me now. Like, he's our offensive coordinator.
Well, I feel bad for him if he actually came across like he gives a shit, but he doesn't.
You know what? I wish he did. You know how he got asked that question? He said, "What would you want to say to the fans?" I wish he told us to all F off. I wish he said, everyone kick rocks. I would have loved it if he told the reporter. But he can't do that. Like, in media training, can you do that? Do you hear that? Did you hear that interview question?
You don't want to insult a reporter, and I think when people do that, it's an
absolute no. She asked, "What do you think of the fans that are talking about Fire Canada in the crowd?"
What he should have said was, I mean, I don't like Mike Tomlin says it too often as an excuse, but like he should have said, "Look, I get the fans passionate. The fans have got to unleash some frustration somewhere. Hasn't really been that great right now. I'm really working on that. The team are really working on that. And we know that this is not, even if like he said some of this stuff, but the part that he doesn't recognize is even if he said something like, if things continue, we're not going to be able to win games down the stretch. We're not going to be able to be successful this year. At least if he said that one thing, Steel fans would go, oh, he gets it. But we all, as Steel fans, you feel like he sits there in the ivory tower that is the fucking whatever room it is, part of my language, at the top of the stadium, or bird's eye view of everything. Like, if you have a bird's eye view of everything, how can you not see that this isn't working? That's what I don't understand. Like, you know, it's like when you're 9 and you log on and you start playing Madden, you all put the camera in so you're like almost in the player's eyes and you can't see any space and you get run stuffed. You do that for about a full season playing Madden and you go, oh, this isn't really working. So then you set the camera angle higher so you can see where the freaking defense is lined up. He can see where the defense is lined up. He can see that his guy's schemed open. Surely he sees the fact that nothing's happening. And it's like you and I actually said, I think he does too much bird's eye watching. I think he needs to get down on the sideline and actually go, oh, it looks this bad. They're struggling this much to get a yard.
I just wish he told us to all F off or told us to shut up. I think it would have been great. I don't know. But look, we can't change it now. That's it. It's and I think we've all talked about it.
100% he changed the play, Jeremiah. 100% he did.
Yeah. See, I don't know about that either. I've kind of like gone back and forth between that. It was just part of the offense too. But
he definitely caught an audible.
Oh yeah, but like it all comes back to this is where I'm going back on the positive kind of now, all right? Because I'm just kind of like I'm done with it all. But it's part of the offense.
It's all right. You and I as Australians love an underdog story. It's just this guy ain't the underdog.
It's not even the underdog story. It's I feel like he's been harassed enough. Like the fact that your name's getting yelled at a Penguins game, like when's enough? Like when? But
I said to the guys before he jumped on, and I want you to take this. I think it's going to become a cult thing, right? So now, even if let's say they do start winning a bunch of games, the offense gets better, they'll start yelling "Fire Matt Canada" even when they win. I think it's going to become. I think it's for some people it will become a cult thing. But the thing is, like, if you're on the Pirates and you've got and you're not doing well, it'll be fine. That Canada, that Canada will be like that. That will be a thing now.
That's why I think this stuff kind of gets a bit out of hand too, because I think I was listening to one of the guys from DK Sports was saying this too. Was it's more like a mob mentality now of it is actually just like I think everyone's said their say, and that's why I think it's kind of crazy. It's getting real out of hand now. Even the Fire Tomlin stuff doesn't get this crazy. Do you know what I mean? And they've been wanting to fire Tomlin for years.
Yeah, but Tomlin, but the thing is, like, Tomlin has a record to go against. Canada doesn't have anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I think why I think it needs to stop, and it's just enough is enough because we know he's gonna his time is gone at the end of the year. It's done. Like we all
What if
know
they
right now.
actually? What if they re-sign him? Will that be burning?
If they
Will that
re-sign
be
him,
burning
I
jerseys?
don't.
Will that people like burn jerseys in the foyer like they did when the Chargers went to LA? Like, is
If
that
they re-sign him like for a 3-year extension, I'll have to really cut down my videos. I'll probably never say his name ever again because I'm just over it. Like if they re-sign him, I'm just like, I'm going to call it the offense, you know. But even Maurice is right too. They show him more than this is more. It's been one of the hottest topics we've ever talked about in our history of the Steelers, like ever.
So you brought up a point that I wanted to raise, and I wanted to wait till you're on. I was thinking about this morning, about half an hour before we started the show. You know, and I'm sure for the listeners as well, you guys are sick of talking about this stuff. I feel like this season we've talked overall. I might say we. I mean all of like Steelers media, social media, YouTube, all that. Devil Taylor Swift is my ex. I feel like there's three narratives: the con artist, Steelers are freaking killing it in preseason. Oh no, Matt Canada sucks. We already knew that. It doesn't. I feel like we've got to talk about all these things, and we don't get to talk as much about the X's and O's and the yards and who's playing well and who's a baller and the fun stuff. Like, it's just, I feel like there's a big, and I don't know whether this is where you're heading with the getting over the Matt Canada thing. I feel like there's this big, heavy, I called him a storm cloud before, but like there's this big, heavy storm cloud on the team, and it's just shadow the fact we've gone from the first 5 games, we're 3-2, we've had in bye, we're 2-2 in the division. Like, as I said to you a week or two ago on one of our shows, the Steelers now have 12 games left. We only need to win 7 probably to make the playoffs. We win more than that, life's good, right?
Well, you know what it is? It's partly to blame with us, the viewer, and it's partly to blame with the media, in my opinion. Because we're on both on YouTube. I do YouTube all the time. You do YouTube all the time, right? The media is always bringing up these dramatizational stories. Then we react to it. Then it's in our front of mind, and we want to talk about it, right? To get through it. And we do talk about football pretty much like maybe 70% of the time. But yes, we have been overcome with this storm cloud of Matt Canada all the time. And then when Steelers win, I got to defend Mike Tomlin because people still want him fired after they win, which makes no sense. But this all comes from the PWFs, the bleachers, all those guys, all Steelers talk, all those guys that create the drama because they're the beat writers. That's what they do. They create the stuff like that. So yeah, we do get over it, right? And the thing is too, talking about football is not sexy. It isn't. If we just talk about actual football and put in here,
I know. Well, so this is other thing though. I thought about it. Not only is it not deeply sexy, but the other thing I thought about is I've tried to go and watch reams of tape on this team, and it's horrific to watch. Like and you know what it is. Like I just went through the drives. Like I've done it twice on this show. 7 out of 9 drives at the first 9 drives resulted in a punt. It is horrific to watch, and it doesn't get better. Like. It's very difficult. Like you see certain players trying to improve, but like there's no week to week this is improving or this is regressed. They need to get back to doing this. It's very difficult because it's just all over the place. Like
that's why with the content I do there on Steel Laws too, I've decided now that my MC journey is done. He won't be fired. It's capped off. And I'm talking about football now from there. That's why I'll call it the offense from there. And I will try and never mention fire it again. Now, of course, we're all persons and we all get really fired up if we lose again by 40 points. We're going to get frustrated. But we kind of know now that they're not going to fire Tomlin and they're not going to fire Canada, right? But I think the media's got a lot to do with it, man. Because like I said, when I did my video about being a kid, you wake up and you invest into the players. Yeah. Like, I still think that Najee Harris is a special story and a good story this season. But I hear reports about him. Will they pick him up in the 5th year? I don't care. I want to talk about next game, like the next game with the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about that a few weeks ago with our thing, and then I saw 2 articles about it this week, and I'm like, he's week 5. It's a little bit early. Jalen Warren has a good game, and then suddenly you're not picking up the 5th-year option.
Yeah, but we're always in front, man. Like we always put what will happen next year in the draft, and the season's over. So, and even with this bye, we should be enjoying the AFC North losing. I think Sean Manahan reminded me that if the Ravens, if they lose, then we're good. And if the other 2 teams win, we're still in first. But I want all those 3 teams to lose, and they can. The Titans can beat them. The Bengals can lose to the Seahawks. The 49ers might beat the Browns by 50.
Seahawks, that's away, isn't it? Isn't that at Seahawks?
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
at Bengals.
Ah,
It's in-
damn. If that was at Seahawks, I don't think the Bengals would win that game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
There's
that's when we're drafting Arch
so
Manning,
front.
guys. Arch Manning out of Texas. That's when
And
that's
I can't
happening.
handle that stuff. We should just be talking about tomorrow, not 3 years away.
Yeah. Do you think they'll win 10 games? I do.
Yes. Well, we're in a pretty good chance to. If you're going off what's already happened with 3-2, I think we're good. I think we're going all right. We
Yeah.
just got to sort a few things out, man. Like they're running the rock better, like this game versus the Ravens. And by the way, could we bring it back? They always say the Ravens lost. No, the Steelers won. They won. I know there were drops, but like they ran the rock pretty good near the end.
They made plays.
Yeah, and they beat the Ravens. They beat the Browns, two good teams, and they've been all the way out to Vegas, which they didn't do since 1995. Where are the positives here?
Actually, let's talk about. I want to talk about. You hit the nail on the head there. I talked about it a little bit when we did our show this week and the takeaways. But when was the last time we could honestly say the Steelers, or at least in terms of frequency, we outplayed a team across all three phases of the game, right? We outplayed the Ravens on special teams. We had the punt block, Boz hit, all this stuff. Technically, the offense did outplay, Lamar Jackson, because Kenny didn't throw an INT. Kenny threw more yards than Lamar Jackson, right? I don't think they got over 100 rush yards either. Actually, let me pick it up. I had the box score in front of me. And on the defense, we created heaps more turnovers. We had heaps more sacks. So, yeah, they had 125 yards rushing. We had 87. So they outplayed us rushing. But everywhere else across the board, we outplayed them. So quite honestly,
and that's That's why I always talk about a football game played out. Like I'm starting to get back to that, man. Like honestly, goodness, I know we always talk about Lamar's better or the stats or whatever, or this team is better on paper or the Ravens should have won. A football game played out. I think the more that people get involved with podcasts, analytics, and I'm talking like collectively, right? Media wise, everything going on really fast. We forget about the game. We honestly forget about the actual game playing. Like that Warren did some spin moves. That Kenny Pickett made a nice, great 41-yard pass. That Pickens got separation for 2.5 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like we forget about the actual game. Like Keanu Benjamin played some good reps. We saw Darnell and I think was it the other blokes in the line play better on the line too. That kind of stuff. We saw Killebrew had a punt block and all this stuff, and we're thinking, oh yeah, Mike Tomlin didn't win that game. The Ravens lost. No, there was a football game being played. And I also listened to last night, right? I listened to last night with Big Ben and TJ Watt, and I was just on a random podcast while I was playing Madden. They like near the end of the season, everyone's getting hurt. We forget about that stuff too. We just go off like names on a sheet. We don't think about that.
That's why the win against the Ravens was important, because who knows where the Ravens are going to be in week 18 and, in games after game 17. If Lamar's injured, at least they've won one game right now, and they won the one at home. Now they can try and go out and win it away. I did like what Gene Smith said there, though, for the three phases, late 90s, early 2000s. RB, I'm sorry, he did. Kenny Pickett had 224 yards. Lamar Jackson had 236 yards. Kenny had a TD. Lamar Jackson had the interception, no TD. Kenny Pickett didn't have an interception. Kenny only got sacked 3 times. Kenny outplayed Lamar from a throwing perspective. Full stop.
But this is where we get back to, like I said, just then, the football.
His percentage was better as well. Like, I'm sorry. I know you don't like Pickett, but his wide receivers dropped the ball, but at the end of the day, it was other statistical areas as well. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying too. Like the football game played out. It was Steelers versus Ravens, right? And sometimes I love being on YouTube and I love being what we do here on social media, kind of stuff. And our role here and our jobs here, we have to go through Twitter. If we don't go through the news, we don't really have any content, right? But sometimes I wish, though, I would love to just go with the game every day and then put earmuffs on and just watch the game. Do you know what I mean? Because it's completely different in person than it is what the perception is on from the outside. And we're always talking about what's going to happen, not what's happening in Steeler Nation. And what's happening right now is Steelers are 3-2. And they're not playing the best on offense, but if they come out swinging and they start running the ball and they're getting 80 yards a run with Warren or Najee, then this team can go far. It could go to the playoffs.
Honestly, though, I don't think, and RB says he could have had 400 if they could catch. Yeah, well, I mean, like if Deontay was here.
Could have, would have, should have.
Yeah, but linking this point to linking with what you were saying, I don't think, and I've said this a few times over the last few weeks, I think people very underestimate the impact getting Deontay Johnson back will have on this offense.
You know
would be
what?
huge for Kenny.
Oh, DJ's awesome too. You know what's kind of crazy as well? What I just came into my brain just then, right? We often say people or fans, right? It's all based off one tweet you read. It's one tweet you read in your personal mind. You read that tweet. No, what's he saying? And then that represents the whole fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do miss the days of just like watching the old school football. And when there wasn't as much access. Because right now, there's probably, 3 or 4 people going live or videos out there on Steelers. Like, there's that many podcasts out there. It's insane. So we thank 12 people for being here and saying hello
100%.
and what's up. And that's all. And also, guys, if you ever want to make a podcast, I've always put my hand up and said, I'll help you out. I can show you some of the ropes, right? It's super fun to do it. But we always forget. I think we just forget about the game sometimes, the actual game where Kenny's out there playing with a sore leg. You know what I'm saying? Brown's quarterback is not even playing and he's healthy. So, and he beat the Ravens twice now. It's 2-0 twice. We beat the Ravens 6 out of 7 times. John Harbaugh's making mistakes. Wasn't that funny? I thought it was crazy.
Mate, that look on his face when they at the end of the first half.
I thought it was awesome, man. I thought it was awesome to see. Rodney Williams made a big play too at the end. This is some good. I've watched that game now twice, and it was awesome. It was an awesome game.
It was better to watch it the second time when you weren't in the like, oh my god, they're like, yeah. But that's the other thing. It's like I talked about there. 7 of the 9 drives punt.
Right.
Like, can it get worse?
Oh, they could fumble, I guess. I don't know.
I just mean like we're 3-2. We're 2-2 in the division. And I feel like there's so much to gain in the second half.
There's tons. We said 13 games to go. There's so much football to go, man. This team doesn't know who they are yet, and they're trying to get that way. 12 games to go. There's so much. They
got to win 7. It's 7 now. That's what they got to do.
Yeah.
Any more is a plus.
They can win. They can win the. And I think the AFC North's wide open too. I think the Ravens are a bit of trouble. I think the Browns are in a lot of trouble. They don't know what to do with their quarterback. And the Bengals, they're getting better, so they're going to start to warm up too. But you know what? Maybe we won't win the Super Bowl. At least we'll have a chance to go to the playoffs. You know.
I think if we get 10 wins, we'll make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because of the way the AFC West and the AFC East eat each other all the time. Like if you look at, I'll bring up the.
What are we? Are we like third? The Steelers like third in the AFC right now, 3rd place.
I don't know if it's that good. So if you go, is it going to bring it up for me? Man, internet is slow today. Look, so Miami are 4-1. They actually look the goods. Buffalo are 3-2. Right, so that division's pretty close. AFC North, obviously, it's 3-3, 3-2, 3-2, 2-2, 2-3. So Cincinnati are sitting there a little bit behind. And if Cleveland lose this week, they're in big crap, especially where they had their bye. Look at the AFC South, very, very level right now. It's the same as AFC North. I mean, 5 games is quite early too. If we had 6 games, you start to see 3-3s, 2-4s, 4-2s kind of thing. Like it is kind of a week too early to be really doing this. But the AFC West, you know, a lot of teams were like the Chargers will be really good, what have you. I think the Chargers will be a lot better than this, but they're going to be fighting for one of the divisional spots. But they'll, like any team, it'll come down to injuries down the stretch. I think you're going to see LVR with a losing, or Las Vegas Raiders with a losing record. Same with Denver. I think Tennessee will struggle to be 9-8. They're probably like a 7-9, 7-10 team to me. Houston might finish 8-9 or 9-8 kind of thing. But I think if you get to 10 or 11 wins, you're in. But the bigger thing is you win if you win the AFC North, and I think 11 wins will get you close to the AFC North. Real close, and that's what I'm saying. If some teams lose this week, then we have a better chance in the long run. But it is kind of a weird, like to me, it's not a weird feeling. I'm happy the Steelers are there, but I think like overall the fan base is like, oh, we don't feel like a 3-2 team. We'll deal with it because we are. But the thing is, the divisions. I mean, you want to win every game. I'm never say don't try in a game. You've got to win every game. But I feel a bit like this is a bit like the English Premier League now, in that like you want to draw or win away from home, but you can't lose away from home, and you have to win your games at home, right? Obviously, that's like a lot the same in the NFL because of like the tiebreak and stuff like that. But the kind of the funny thing now is the Steelers, I said, have to win at least 7 games to make the playoffs. They have 4 division games. If they win those games, they can go They can win the division with 10 games if they win every single division game. They've got 4 left. The division is more important than ever for the Steelers' playoff chances. It's always important. But for the Steelers to actually make the playoffs in the spread of the AFC right now, they have to win as many division games as possible. Every single game counts there.
If the Steelers go and win next week against the Rams, they have three back-to-back games at home. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like that's good advantage. Also, like we are playing some type of teams and Jag and stuff like that, but they're 2-3 or 3-2.
Like we have a chance. I do think they're going to drop one of those games, but I think we have a chance to be 7-2 through the first 9 games.
Yeah, and then we'd still be unhappy.
Well, I mean, it did look ugly at 11-0 that year. So
yeah, that was a crazy year, wasn't it? That was like that. Didn't Washington really show us up? Didn't they? I remember that Washington really showed us. They took us to town. So, anyways, I don't know, man. I'm kind of cool with it. I'm kind of cool with the bye. I'm cool with actually having the week off and just sitting back and watching, not sweating and watching the other teams lose. There's the London game, which is our time, 12:30. We can kind of watch.
I saw the funniest post on that the other day, which was like the audacity of us, and it was an NFL memes page. It was like to go to London, see an anthem about beating the British in war, to play a game that we stole off one of their games and renamed it and spread our flag across the field of the National Stadium. They're like, you gotta love it. It made me crack up. I just thought it was so funny. It was hilarious.
It is big over there though. Like NFL is pretty huge over there. Jags have almost moved over there. They played back-to-back games, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think in UK. Yeah, so it was like 4 or 5.
There'll be a team there in the next 10 years. There'll be a team there, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of expanding that, but I can't tell Goodell what to do. So,
but I fly when I fly in San Diego to Atlanta, right? Before that was 5.5 hours. It's only 8 across the Atlantic. It's crap for the West, but like,
could they move to 34 teams or something like that? You reckon?
Yeah, I know that Texas has wanted another team.
But would that mean 17 with one other bye, something like that, 34 teams?
Well, I think they should have an 18-week season an 18-game season, sorry.
You know, it'd be crazy. Like if they went 34 teams and the Browns and Bengals are like, man, more teams that we have to verse, so we don't win a Super Bowl. But
that's the problem with 34 teams is how are you gonna just expanding that divisionally is really difficult.
Oh, true. Where do you put them?
Right.
Yeah. I can't.
Now, the NHL did that. But then you've got to. It becomes really complex because then you've got to at least in the NHL you've got overtime losses, so you can differentiate points really easily. But with the way the NFL's set up. When we do that show in the off season, that's a long show. That's a long discussion.
George says Steelers better get a bit of jet. Yes, they should.
They're on number 3. I heard there was problems with number 2.
There was problems with number 2 as well.
Well, that's actually they don't own them anyway. I think there's only 2 teams. Robert Kraft has one, for the Patriots, Mr. Rub and Tug, and I don't know who. There's another team that's got one as well.
Isn't it funny how we just forget about those stories? Like that is just one of the biggest owners in the NFL. They just kind of hush it,
Good old Crafty.
And even with Tom Brady kissing his son, which is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just
I'm really not on that.
No, if you look at that and you're like, what's happening, mate?
But the same thing. All right, I'm going to say this. Did you see the picture of Heidi Klum with her daughter in lingerie?
No, I'm not about that.
For their brand? Nah. Sorry.
Some of these people, mate, they got too much money. They're just weirdos. You know?
That's just not like that. Nah.
Like we don't have any drama with our Steelers at the moment, I don't think, except Antonio Brown's gone a bit nuts, but that's normal. You know?
Did you say San Antonio Brown?
No. Antonio Brown. Did I say San Antonio? San Antonio.
Why is San Antonio Brown?
If he was from there, it'd be good. San Antonio Brown.
He could buy the Browns and call them the San
I shouldn't have brought it up. I shouldn't have brought it up. Look what Jay Devil said. I wish my shield kissed with. So wrong. Sometimes I hate celebrities. I love the game so much of the Steelers, and sometimes I just can't handle what they do. They're all crazy.
Imagine
They're all
being a
crazy.
Chiefs fan though right now, and how often they cut to freaking T Swift.
Did you talk about that today? Did we talk about
No, we didn't. I'm not. I'm trying not to talk about it.
Man, when will it stop? When will it stop? I'm over it. I'm over that too. Like, honest to goodness, like, do we need to see her in the box? Do we need to see her and Mahomes' girlfriend?
I mean, let's be like, she has used every person she's ever dated for her songs. She has an album called Red. She picks a guy that like plays in Red. Like, let's just think about what's happening.
Yeah, you say it's a new album's gonna be something to do with Kelsey.
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. She's crazy. She's something, mate.
But he's also have you like, if you actually listen to him and over the last few years, he's a bit off with the Pixies as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They all get like, I think that some of the money goes to their head when they're playing NFL and they get the big ego, right?
Actually, I want your take on this before we shut out the show. I know we're just talking about lots of NFL stuff. How do you feel about the Aaron Rodgers gets paid by Pat McAfee to be on the show? Now, don't get me wrong. I think everyone should get paid for everything they do. But for the whole time, they've presented that like it's a weekly interview and he does it. And they've like, there's a difference. They've kept the whole fourth estate thing as journalism, blah, 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 blah. And then you find out he's getting paid $1 million for his shows a year. I'm not saying people shouldn't be paid for the work. I think people should be paid fair and square for the work. And I think a lot of people are underpaid in this life. But I do have I feel like they could have been a lot more transparent on that a lot sooner than now.
Yeah, I thought he was just a guest every time. They were just rocking up. But I guess
same.
But I guess it works out to be, and actually the way his demeanor is like more chill and relaxed. So, but maybe he's relaxed. He's getting paid $1 million. Was it $1 million per episode or $1 million for the whole thing?
I saw the statement that I saw said for the season.
That's not bad, is it? Really, not bad. Maybe that's
and
why.
Pat McAfee was like, we should probably have paid him more.
Okay.
Fair enough. So then, where's the $1 million coming from? Confused.
You know what? I don't really, not a problem with it to me. He's a big guy.
No, there's not a problem with it. I just feel like they should have been a bit more transparent up until now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe at the same time, then maybe everyone we see online, maybe we should just think that they're getting paid by someone, because he's a pretty big business. Pat McAfee's turning it into an empire.
Oh, mate, he took like absolute freaking kudos. And I watched them all through lockdown. They did anything to try and keep people interested. Like they were watching marble games and doing betting on marbles. They're interviewing Aussie sports. Like I like awesome stuff. In fact, I kind of miss the rough stuff. I miss the when it was less.
That always happens.
I liked it when it was more rough, but yeah.
So like when we get famous, we get 1 million viewers, we'll be like in the studio and I'll probably turn into an ass hat. Just the way it is, all right?
It was in a cave.
Nah, it's I don't know. I don't watch him anymore. It's not too relatable to me.
It's too hard to watch, and it's really not. And the Pac-Man Jones thing killed that off for me a little bit.
I got over when I heard the millions for when I heard that for the 30.
I love the billions though. I love that when they say the millions.
But he's been doing that for 5 years.
And you know the other one, because maybe it's just I'm shitty because we were going to have him on a while back and then he wouldn't.
Who, Pat?
No, Tony Diggs. No, remember I was talking to Tony Diggs?
Yeah.
But sometimes in the interviews, like, I don't know, he goes on about like everything wrong with the Steelers, and then when he interviews someone, and I know they've got to be polite or guests don't come back, but like, I don't know, they lets them off the hook. I don't like that.
Yeah, but it's part of the game. But I don't know. Pat's now.
Do you know who I tune out? But do you know who I do enjoy? I do enjoy Stephen A. Smith because I just love the way he goes off. Yeah, I tune out with what he's saying sometimes because he gets so ridiculous. But I love when he starts shaking his head and he's speaking so fast that all he's doing is spitting from his lips. Like it's just you can hear it in the microphone. I find it hilarious. It makes me.
I used to like that show, but not anymore. That was it. What's the one where they do the paper?
Yeah, that is bullshit. I know it did sound like a hit piece the way it came out, but I feel like more could have been. Not even they needed to say how much it was. They could have just said like, we do have a commercial relationship. But anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
What's the one where they throw the paper and they answer questions? It's part of my interruption or something like that. Is that the one? No.
No, that's not part of my interruption.
Around the horn.
I used to love Around the Horn back in the day.
Yeah, not anymore though. I don't watch any shows now. I just can't handle the media.
No.
I'm all about Steelers. Just Steelers.com. That's all I listen to.
Hey, Steel fans out there, you want to watch a boring NFL show? Watch is it called the NFL show on Channel 7, the one they do?
Yeah, yeah, dude.
There's the NFL show, right? They play it at the end of the week's games. And
now we can never have them as guests ever.
Did you want either of them as guests? Anyway, one of them's I don't know who it is. The other host, I've never seen him before this show. I think he's been on sports radio. And then the other guy is Ben Graham, who you guys remember was a punter in the NFL for a long time. He had the big hit on the guy when he was an Arizona Cardinal. But that show, you want to watch some poor NFL analysis, watch that show. That's
this is what we have for our stuff here, because he was relevant in 2008 was Ben Graham when he went to the Super Bowl in the Arizona Cardinals when we beat them. Like, he's probably a good bloke, but they haven't got nothing really caught up news wise. And the other guy is just like I don't know, he's just a bloke, just a guy on radio. Yeah, I don't watch any of that stuff.
I thought it was this show.
Yeah, sometimes depends how long we go. If we go into 6 hours, 7, 8 hours, then we become a bit boring. You know, everyone's got their perks and their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a free agency live stream for like 8 hours on the first day of free agency. Oh, look, there's another player that was rumored to the Steelers. He's gone. There's another player gone. There's another player gone. Oh, the Steelers don't do anything in the first day of free agency. Oh my God.
You're just gonna watch the ticker down the bottom of the Twitter. The Twitter tick over. Yeah, that'd probably work, man, because people come in and out the whole time. If they had it for 8 hours, you know, that could be a thing. It'd be a real thing. Dude, that'd be a long day though. That's like your 12 midnight or our 12 midnight to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
You'd be like Adam Shefty, but on YouTube.
I'd have to be Shefty on the Sherbets. Oh my God. You should do a show each week.
On the Sherbets.
You should do a show each week, because you say Shefty, right? You should do a show each week on Steeler Oz that's Shefty with the Sherbets, and you just like have a few Sherbets and you just talk like random crap.
Imagine we got Shefty with Shefty and Sherbet. That's a good podcast. Shefty and the Sherbets. Like, I need to obviously get Shefty on the show.
That'd it's Shefty with Sherbets.
Oh,
if you do Shefty with Sherbets for long enough, someone out there will find a way for him to see it on Twitter, and then who knows what can happen.
Did I tell you that I gave him a wave? And he gave me a head nod in Houston. I went, "Hey Shefty," and he went, "In Houston." It was cool. Yeah, it's good. Even though I didn't meet him, but like he was up in the stands.
Did I tell you about the funny look that Terry Bradshaw gave me? I've not told you this story. Maybe I haven't. When I went to the Bills game in 2019, they had like a thing that you do outside the stadium with all these drills, right? So you had to throw an NFL ball through 3 like slots, and then they had like a you had to spike a ball through something else, and then you had to do like a big then they had a person that would throw you the ball, and you'd like do a catch and dive onto like a high jump mat and stuff like that, right? Anyway, so I did it all the NFL one. Or you had to do like the quick feet with the little rope ladder thing on the floor and all that. So I did that. And then I said to the guy's like, "You're Australian?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, that's pretty crazy. You did pretty good for, all that sort of stuff." And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, "Let me do the passing stuff let me pass it like a rugby ball." Right. And I was just like straight through each hole, like just boom, 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 boom. And then did all the other ones like as if it was rugby style and like 100%, right? But as I was doing one of the passes through the hole, I look up because they had the setup for the broadcast from Sunday Night Football there, right? And then Bradshaw was standing nearby, and he's looking at me weird when I'm throwing the ball like a rugby ball. It's very funny.
Well, it can work though. Like, obviously, that's never going to come into the game. That pass,
no. But it was just very, very. It was just a funny moment as a fan.
But you can really rip those American footballs like that. Like I've done it before.
That's way easier to kick an NFL ball than it is to kick a rugby ball.
Yeah, but even
the hang time is harder, but distance is much easier.
Well, when was that? Sorry, my voice is gone. Was that the Bills game? Was it?
Yeah, the 2019 one.
Is that when you saw Duck?
Yeah. No. Can you imagine, guys out there? I'm still a fan for most of your life.
You saw Duck.
You pick a game you pick a game in July that you think is going to be good based on where the teams are sitting.
Mm-hmm.
You fly all the way to Pittsburgh from the other side of the world. What are we, like 16,000 kilometers or some crap?
Yeah, pretty far.
Something like that. You get there, it's freezing cold, and there you go. You see Devlin Duck Hodges. You've paid 400, I think it was 500 Aussie a ticket. So it was about, it was a $280, $300 ticket that we had. You paid for you and your wife, and you watched Devlin Duck Hodges and when Mason Rudolph was better, and you just, yeah.
But even that too, like, because Big Ben went down the season, right? What's the second game or first game?
Yeah.
He went down.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I was very lucky. I got to see Steelers versus Christmas. Steelers versus Ravens Christmas Day.
Steelers versus Christmas. Steelers win Christmas.
Dude, it was amazing, man. Like,
I'm actually really devastated there's no Christmas Day game this year.
Yeah.
It caused a real fracas. Like, for you guys, it's Christmas Eve for Christmas Day. It caused a real fracas last year with family commitments. But I would have loved to have said after last year, guys, sorry, I'll see you on Boxing Day. Like,
dude, it's honestly one, like, I was there by myself, but it was one of the greatest times. I just stayed back half an hour just looking around the stadium. Like, Christmas Day was awesome. It was great. It was so much fun. Like, I had drinks before, had shots, had burgers. We won the game. It was cold as 2 Renegades. Antonio Brown, handover, win the division. Everyone hyped. Everyone high on life. It was one of the best days ever.
Oh, definitely, yeah, 100%.
And what a game too! What a game that, well, honest to goodness, what a game that Jer went to. Right, that's a fantastic game. Like the way it played out. You know, defense.
RB, that's a good question. I want to see who gets punted from other teams, because before I start entering that discussion, and I want to see a few other offenses, but I don't think they can go pull someone from the college game. I think they need to look at the top quarterback coaches around the league. And I think, or they need to look at someone that's super experienced as well. So that's a really good question. I might even do a video this week for you. I'll go through all the different guys that I think.
I thought it was Big Ben. I thought Big Ben was the OC. That's what I've been hearing around town. It's Big Ben.
Big Ben's. How much alliteration can I do? Big Ben is busy doing beer broadcasts.
Yeah, like honestly, like I keep hearing that. Make Big Ben OC. He's got it made right now. He's doing podcasts, drinking beer, and has a great life right now. Like, why would he get into?
I had like COVID a few, like I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, whatever it was, and I would send you the voice messages sounding like Bane.
You were sick. Like I talk about a guy that was like trapped under a truck. You know what I mean? Like you sounded like terrible. You sounded like someone stood in your throat. Like, it was like really bad. I can't even put the words how bad it was, man.
You know what though? I went back and listened to a show. I was trying to find some information I remember we had in a show, and I went back to one from 2 weeks later, and I sounded so like like nasally in that. And I was like, that was 2 weeks after I felt recovered. Like I was sick for quite a while. Like
it sounded like you had razor blades in your throat and you're trying to talk. Like you had no like, air in your lungs or nothing. You're like that. It's just terrible. It sounded like Mahomes was on drugs. It's terrible. You know, it was funny too. Yeah.
Kermit with a perm. That's what I call him. Kermit with a
perm. Dude, it was pretty bad. Like you were sick. Like
I was probably roughed up.
But good. I'm like, you're good now. You sound fine.
Yeah.
Right? That was before your wedding, right? That was before your wedding, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, so. It was what, 4 weeks or 3 weeks before.
Yeah, you got it out of your way before your wedding because you sounded terrible. I can't even put into words how bad you were. It's bad.
It was diabolical. I don't know if it'll be Gruden. I said at the start of the show, I think I say not because I think this would hear the fact he's still fighting the NFL for those reasons, but they did that with Flores, so who knows?
Spider 2, wide banana, Mr. Gruden. That's what he always says. I don't know who's going to be either. I have no idea. Who's going to be.
I still go. Sorry, we are almost at the end. Anything else you want to finish up with, Mark? We've gone a bit over, but it's good.
I reckon just enjoy the bye.
What's everyone? Sorry to interrupt. I feel like I just interrupted you all day today.
All right, mate.
Friday night, what's everyone having for dinner? I cooked a mean Friday night dinner last night, so I want to know what everyone's having for dinner on a Friday night. So while Mark talks, I want to see it in the live chat. Tell us what you're having for Friday night dinner. Let's go.
I just want to say, like, honest to goodness, like, enjoy the bye and let's get back to football. Now, everyone complains about like clickbait and there's so much drama, but we don't have to feed ourselves into it. We know who the offensive coordinator is, we know who the coach is. Get back to football. That is Najee, Warren. Offensive line gets better. This team, I think, should be better out of the bye, like scoring more points. I would hope so. DJ comes back, which is a big help. And yeah, getting back to football, man, I think is the key. And cheering and supporting our team. Even if we go bad or good, we still support our team because we can't get enough of it. We just can't. Like, you and I listen to Steelers every day. Guys in the chat, Macca's? That's funny. Yeah, we just haven't, we can't get enough football, man.
That's what I made something similar the other night.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, man, just get back to football and just support the team, and we're all good. Like, we're 3-2. We're not 0-5. Like, why are we upset? Honest to goodness, why are we mad? Teams winning the division.
I had a question for Daredevil. Side note: do you separate push, not just push and pull, but do you do separate different muscle groups on push pull, or do you just do like push and pull on their own? I think I said that right.
I like the first bit, Macca's. I
got some big pork. I might have pork chops for dinner. I got some big pork chops in the fridge, actually.
I don't know what I've got nothing. We got to go out today and do our Australian thing today. You know that? Did you do it yet?
I'll do it. I'll do it this afternoon.
All right, I got to go find someone to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Then get Macca's.
Yeah, we won't talk about. We won't go into the detail on that one. That could be a
no.
No
way, Jose. All good.
Fried fish, green bean salad. Ooh, nice.
Interesting.
What'd you have for dinner last night, Mark?
Shoot, what did I have for dinner last night? I don't think I had much. It's like a sandwich. Nothing too crazy, man.
Yeah, nice one.
Nothing crazy at all. I told you I did the pickleball training. Then I had a nap. I slept like an old man. Like, I was tired by 12:30. In the afternoon, 3. Tried to go driving, and I slept from 3 to 7. It's bad. KFC. Yeah. I don't mind KFC, even though it's different here to America.
I cooked a 4-course meal last night.
Really?
Yeah, because it was 1 month since the wedding, so I wanted to do something nice for my wife. So I cooked a 4-course
You should go on that MasterChef show or something. You should go on
I don't plate very well. My plating.
What do you mean? Is that your worst? Don't care about plating. Just put it on there.
Yeah. I cooked. We had grilled octopus with charred paprika pineapple, like smoked pineapple, for those the entree, and then I cooked New York steak cut, thinly sliced, super rare, let it melt with butter, lemon, and thyme. And then I cooked lamb backstrap with rock salt.
You have to go on some show. You're a celebrity now. You could go on.
And then I had to go. It was different to what I wanted, but I did try to deconstruct it because I didn't have time to do the pie. Apple crumble. It was beautiful, with pecans in it. It was beautiful. I'll send you some photos.
You should go on some show of How I Met Your Cook. Because I don't know what you do. Go on some show. You sound like you're very talented.
I love cooking.
Sound like you know what you're doing. What's the other show we have here? My Kitchen Rules or whatever?
Yeah, that's the one I'd probably more likely go on, where they go into your kitchen and you cook it and whatever. But you've got to cook for you've got to cook for 14 people.
Yeah, and then yeah, I see that.
I don't like doing that. And you know the difference? My wife finds it really frustrating because she'll follow a recipe. She's a very good baker. I can't bake for crap, but she'll follow a recipe and it's good, right? Whereas I'm a bit more like Kenny, just drawing up the plays in the dirt, or Ben drawing up plays in the dirt. I'm just bit of this, bit of that, chuck that in, whatever. Cook it for this long. I just kind of just do it. So it's kind of.
But I can't believe I'm going to say this, but isn't baking more you have to follow the recipe?
Yeah, 100%. That's why. That's why.
Yeah.
Also, she's a scientist, right? If they don't follow a method, it doesn't work. So.
That's crazy. I can't believe we got to baking on its Steelers TDU show.
We got to baking.
Wow.
Steelers TDU.
Taylor Swift and baking done.
Have you ever had a Steelers cake for your birthday?
Nah. I don't think so.
Your next milestone birthday, I'm buying you a Steelers birthday cake.
A Steelers cake?
Yeah.
With what? Debo Harrison? Be sweet.
Best meal ever?
Oh.
I can't go. I've had a lot of good meals.
Get me a 46 cake. I'd eat the hell out of that. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm getting out of hand now. I'm joking. Ah, goodness. You know, there's another guy.
We get you a 46 cake, a real like a 46 cake,
there's
with a
another
big
guy.
black and yellow icing bow on the top of it. I'll save that one for your Bucks party.
That's insane. Good stuff.
Hey, Toddy. Right. Well, I think with that we might close out the show.
I think it's just that today's. Oh, man, I just you know what it is. I'm not looking forward to the line we have to line up in today. I probably should have done it before. Can't handle the lines. That's why I've been a bit funny today.
Do you reckon 20%? So you guys might be finding this interesting in America. We get fined if we don't vote here.
We get fined for anything.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's a fine.
We get fined if we're walking on the wrong side of the road.
But they reckon 20% of people won't vote today.
Really? Maybe they'll forget.
But that actually could swing that vote into like
how much is the fine? It's like $50.
No, so you know how we have the local council. They're like $250 because everyone always forgets to do them. State, I think, is about $100. I think federal. So this is a federal one, like a national one. I think it's $120 or something.
Sheesh.
What's the referendum penalty?
Jeez, that's a lot. God, yeah, I'll be going probably straight after this. Going to go down and then get some food and come back.
Yeah, get the classic sausage sizzle.
That's crazy.
I don't know. It doesn't have the price, but I'm pretty sure missing a federal vote, something like $50, $120.
Yeah. I just like how they're always your friends at the front. Everyone's your friend at the front, and then when you walk out, they're not your friend anymore. They all want to talk to you.
I love when you go and vote. I love my favorite one is when someone hands you some information and you go, no, and then someone keeps shoving in your face. You turn around like, I'm not voting your particular way. You quit. Like, I don't know.
I try and waste their time. Like, I talk to them and I just waste their time and just ask them odd questions because they're, trying to.
You know what I say, Gene, as well with voting is many people in the Western world have died for the right to vote, and we should respect that by voting. And the other thing I always say is you cannot complain about a result if you don't vote. Like, fine if you don't want to, but like, yeah.
So I just go with that because I have to. And
you can go multiple times. They don't even fine you anymore.
I want to go multiple times. I've got to figure out where to go.
Are we down a local school?
Yeah, it's somewhere down there. There's a few of them around here somewhere.
Why don't you go down with your parents?
No, I'll walk down somewhere, drive down somewhere. I've got to figure it out. It's not really on my
this one's.
Oh, that's a good question.
No.
But it'd be good. That's a good idea, though.
The one we had an election in 2019, and it was long odds for the person to win, and I had a lot of money on them. And when they won, it was like, how America does odds. It was like 9, 1 to 9, basically odds. And like, yeah, when he came through, I was feeling pretty happy. I had some nice whiskeys that night. That was good.
I don't think I actually checked the sports bet. I don't think you can't vote.
You can't vote on this one. No, you can't. I tried 3 weeks ago. You can't bet on this one. So you guys will be surprised to know you can bet. I don't know if you guys can over there, but we can bet on US politics. We can bet on you can basically bet on anything.
Bet on anything, mate. You can bet on The
Bachelor. You can bet on The Bachelor.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. The amount of betting here is insane. It's like Las Vegas on steroids everywhere. It's nuts. And speaking of that,
actually, speaking of betting, there's big horse races today. It's not quite our version of the Kentucky Derby. That's coming up in another.
Is it Rose Hill?
No, this is Everest at Ramwick.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But I can't say anything more. The video will have to be tagged, not for kids. It's already tagged, not for kids. It's whatever I fucking like. There you go. There's a swear word.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm probably going to hit the punt. I'm going to go on the punt today, I think.
It's a nice day too. It's a good Saturday.
It's a great Saturday. It's a great Saturday. Is it hot? Is it hot up?
Yeah, it's like
we may as well keep going under 7 minutes and hit the 90-minute mark.
It's like 25.
Hit the TJ. We'll hit the TJ.
25 degrees, which is like 85 something, I reckon. Outside. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
20 degrees. Isn't that like 68?
No, it's a 25. I think it's like that. I don't know. Let me see.
For me, it's going to be 26 today.
You know what this is like? The actual conversations we have.
Yeah, I know. This is like getting insight into that.
69 it is. So
What state? Where are you still a girl? What state? Well, yeah, I guess not all 50
she's
states.
in Hawaii.
Ah,
Yeah.
really?
It will come there. America's picking up.
Oh, mate, it will come.
Something.
The thing that's annoying is that you can't bet in America through Australian betting. Like they block you even with a VPN. That's what sucks. Ah, why?
But yeah, it's America's picking up big time. And I'm not a big we have enough betting here in Australia, but so don't get the way we get because everyone bets here. Your mum and your dog bets. You know, everyone grabs a scratchy. Everyone grabs a lotto ticket. It's not good.
Yeah,
Yeah. I hear you. We hear you. Today's gonna be nuts. Like I just want to go. I think the line's gonna be out.
Toddy, I'll just say this. I can't go into the full story, but I'm the first international person ever in Las Vegas, in Nevada, to buy, and I'm the third person ever to buy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, no gambling in CA. Yeah, I think America, because they're trying to get on the sports bet thing now too.
No electricity in CA as well.
Hey?
When the windmills and the solar batteries aren't going, there's no energy in CA.
We have a pretty big gambling culture here. And it's like,
yeah.
Even though I do it, I'm kind of against it at the same time. Like I won't promote it as much. I know we talking about it, but like everyone does it. It's nuts. What's that Melbourne Cup Day? The race that stops the nation.
Yeah, that's our Kentucky Derby. And as Mark said, the nickname is the race that stops the nation. In fact, our Federal Reserve, called the RBA, the Royal Bank of Australia, right? They make their interest rate decisions on the first Tuesday of every single month. Which the first Tuesday, they make on the first Tuesday, but a lot of times that rolls into being the second. They make the first Tuesday of the month, and then the first Tuesday of the month in November is usually Melbourne Cup Day. So often they will make their interest rate decision, and no one talks about it until after the Melbourne Cup because they usually occur at the exact same time. Wild.
But like every man and their dog will put a bet on that day, like regardless if you do or don't bet. That's why it's the way we are.
Yeah, but that's the people out there are coming out for that one too. No more horse racing. It's bad for horses.
Mate, yeah. Everyone's always unhappy. Let's put it that way.
Hey, did I tell you? I did this about 4 months ago. There was a horse, right? I bet on called Steel Rush or something, and its parent was Iron City something.
Yeah, there's a whole stable. I think there's one called Steel City too. Steel City as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How'd it go? Get up?
I think I had it like a $4 place, and it got up. What are we talking about?
There must be fans of Pittsburgh because there used to be.
There must be because all these horses, and they're all Aussie horses, because they have to put the nationality next to them.
They could be American trainers. I don't know. But there's a few of them like that. There was one called Pittsburgher, or the quarterback as well, a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, there was a few back then. I backed one called Pittsburgh or Pittsburgher or something like that.
Yeah, but this was like steel. Like the fact that it was like Steel or Rush.
Yeah. No, I know the what do you call the stable, whatever they were. It was like there's one called Steel City and something else too. But you just type in Steel into the app and it just brings it up.
Yeah, that's who I bet on. I bet on Steel City. That's the guy. And then its parent was its dam. Yeah, so its mum was Pittsburgh Flyer. There you go.
Speaking of horses, back to Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Have you seen her face? Oh. Ooh.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. You never get the last one. You never get it. It's like you can never get the last pick. They call them parlays, we call them multis. You never get the last multi, mate.
I find it so funny when the whole parlay thing. It just reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like when he talks about like the parlay and it's just called a multi.
What is is a parlay? Is a parlay is it like just doubling up? Basically, is that what the terminology of it?
Basically,
and we just call it a multiplier, right?
Yeah, we just call it multi.
Turn of initial stake of winnings from previous bet into greater amount by gambling parlay. Gotcha. And we call it
If you guys should check out some on YouTube after you finish listening to us. Sports bet ads. We have sports bet. They're owned by FanDuel, I think. Actually, I think FanDuel
if you have a gambling problem, don't come to Australia. You'll be reminded every day. Like it's really bad.
Like
here.
Really I'll give you a list of outside of because they separate it. This is the. Oh, I've got money in my betting account. That's good. I didn't know I have money.
There you go. But don't reckon it's like it's Australia.
I have three betting accounts. I'm on three. I'm on Tad, Ladbrokes, and Sportsbet.
And what's the other one? There's like four. It's not four. It's like 6, 7 of them.
Yeah, I've had other companies, but I shut them down. So there's politics as a separate. There's sports novelties. There's politics. These are the non-sports, and we've got heaps of sports. Novelties and entertainment. The Masked Singer. The Block.
Yeah, the Singer.
Masked Singer. I remember seeing that one week. I'm like, I don't watch it, so I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Oh, just bet the odds. Yeah, there's what else is there? There's actual reality shows.
Mega Bet. Oh wow.
There's reality shows. There's politics. There's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it never stops.
Esports. You bet on esports here. Can you bet?
Yeah, like the CS:GO. People who play CS:GO. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, Gene. Is he serious? I don't know if you're being serious or not. We're getting into that. See, that Mark and I have like an hour span, and once you get us over an hour, it gets a bit wild and woolly.
I think it's just because it's the bye week, and it really is because I'm just.
That's the thing. That's why I happen to go a bit longer because like let's give you guys something to tune into.
Yeah.
But I do have to go get a coffee very shortly.
Well, I've got to go vote, mate. I've got to go vote right now.
Vote.
Mm-hmm.
Is your vote the 3-letter word or the?
Tell you my vote. Word? Well, not telling you exactly what I'm doing, but it's probably just going to be
the 3-letter word or the 2-letter word.
It's going to be a 4-letter word. 4-letter word starting with F. I think.
So that's the other thing out there. Not only do they think 20% of people won't rock up to vote, they think a lot of people will vote informally, right? So we have very strict things about what you can write and what you can't. And a lot of Australians, when they don't want to vote, just draw genitalia on their voting cards.
Yeah. To give away my secrets, I'm just not a big fan of that kind of stuff, no matter if it's right or left. I think it's all part of the same bird. I think there's a bit it's used to divide people, and I think it's the result is to make people angry. So then we go buy fast food and what did Tom call us the other day? Fat, sassy, and dumb.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like that. They want to keep us entertained, fat, sassy, and dumb. So I'm just against it all. That's why I like married.
Isn't that basically just Married at First Sight though?
The real needs to be a horse face. Taylor's in there, man. Tell ya. Yeah,
they should do that blind, the Dating in the Dark one. Have you seen that one? And then they have a horse. Yeah, I know it was cool, but they have a horse instead, and so you go up and you kiss the horse.
I used to like that show. That show was good. And they're just getting handsy in there though, really, weren't they? Just all kind of just all over the shop.
Just watched it for the presenter. Was that Laura? I can't remember. Zorton or whatever her name was. Something like that.
I don't remember. It was like years ago, and I watched.
And she was from the travel show too. I think.
Like what was her name? Laura who?
Was it Laura Sorton or something?
Laura. Let me look her up. I can't remember. Laura Sorton.
I think like with a CS or something.
C. What C?
Just type in the show. It'll come.
Oh, what the hell? Who's that person? Oh, was she? Is she? What? Oh, she's a Raiders fan. I've never seen. Mate, how many times can you pose like that? She's posing everywhere. Who poses like that? Like at a beach? What the hell? I don't like her anymore, dude. Nah, not a fan. She's never coming on the show. I've never seen her in my life at all. Have you seen her in your life? You know her. Wikipedia. Is she Australian?
Yeah.
Is she? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Laura Sorton. Man, she must have trouble spelling her name to everyone. She's from 1976 Australian model. There you go. Dude. Years active, 1996 till present.
Is she the host? Did I get that right?
Oh, she was on Wheel of Fortune with Larry Emder. Yeah. You guys got a lot of homework to do. We've got to find out who the people are. Like, who the hell's Larry Emder?
That's very, very funny.
Dude, I don't think she was the host, but she was the host of
Okay.
what? She was on Channel 7's morning show too for travel segments. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, how hard's that job? Don't even start me with that job. Channel 7 travel host. Imagine being that. Here I am in Italy and doing. Oh, dude, easy job. It's easy. Oh, I can't. He can take my place. I bagged him out too much, so he can have my place. Yes. Yes. Nah, he's good, man. Brad's good. I had a longer, I don't know, battle for 9 years for no reason, really. He did good, by the way, actually, Brad Wing.
He did play well.
Oh,
I told
yeah,
you play well.
Yeah, Matty, you're kicked off. Done. See you later. She can come on for sure. She's there in a heartbeat.
Who?
Yeah, she's highly attractive. She's well up there. She's like if she was Taylor Swift's version, you'd have the camera on all the time.
What's she in though?
We talked about it before. This is came up. This came up on the 6-hour show. We talked about it before. She's
Mate, I don't remember much of the 6-hour show. I must spin the wheel.
She's from that movie. She's Out of My League. That one. Yeah, she's fantastic.
I've seen that, but I don't.
Holy dearly.
That's a long time ago, though. Really?
That's a good question. Why is all the female meteorologists generally hot and the men already unattractive? Yes, I do agree about that.
That's very funny.
Baton Rouge. Brad Wings is from his high school near. Yeah, I got nothing against him. It's just like I just didn't like his ego in 2016, and I kept that grudge for 8 years. So that is what it is.
I have something special to decide our next guest.
What do you mean? Our next guest? What, you're going to force him to come on?
Yes.
Like, they got to say yes, you know, man.
Yes.
Who is it? Who do you want to try and get on?
Well, you know, I've just got some interesting ideas. You know,
Is
but
it a
we need a
player?
bit of help. We need a bit of help with Destiny. So
There's no way you're getting if you get Alice Eve, there's no way she'd come on a Steelers show. But spin the wheel. There's no way you're getting Alice Eve. Ever. Oh, 46. Yeah, boy.
yeah, mate, the wheel's back.
Yeah, it'd be good.
The wheel's back. But we can't beat the wheel, so we're gonna have to close out the show on the wheel.
Yeah, it'd be good to get him on.
Marky D, final thoughts.
Final thoughts are
Since you missed the opening thoughts.
Yeah. What were my opening thoughts? Final thoughts are enjoy the weekend. Enjoy football over the bye week. It's stress. No stress this week. Still 3-2. Big season as well. Yes, that's what
That's the new one. Is that? Do you have that? Have you used that or not?
Yeah. No, I haven't used that one, but Jen always says certified 46ers.
I want to put that at the end of the names on our little descriptions.
Yeah. So I say enjoy the week, man, because we're in front and it's going to be a tough, crazy, wild ride, but it has been for 3 years anyway with this offense.
Yeah.
So what's new? Just and it still is football. Like, get back to actual watching football. We're versing the Rams next week, and once this period's gone, we complain for 9 months. Say, where's football? So enjoy it. We've got to enjoy this time. We really do. 100%.
With that, that's going to wrap up this week's Steelers Touch Down Under. I'm Matty P with Mikey D, as always.
Go Steelers. Here we go.